folks. My name is Donna Martin, founder of the Goodlife-approach and creator of the Unleashing Infinite Possibilities podcast. Blah, that was a big blah for this week's session. As always, before we dive into the session, I invite you to get curious. Get curious about yourself, your life, and the world that we live in. So that means start questioning your ideas, start questioning your beliefs, start questioning where they came from. If something is calling you in your heart, if something has guided you to this podcast, to whatever episode, to start querying where you are, to start questioning, do you desire more? Can you experience more? Is this world what you really think? Pay attention to the questions and start going where your heart guides you. Start paying attention to how you feel. It is the goodness of the feeling that creates. This week's podcast, I am coming to you to talk to you about the guilt that we experience over the holidays as parents, as caregivers for the kids. And you can hear clearly in the background my voice. Now, I tried to do this podcast yesterday. I started recording it, done about 3 or 4. I got frustrated. I got annoyed. I used my everyday tools of the grounding and whatever. But I was just in that vibrational energy of, I'm frustrated. This is irritating. And when I'm like that, sometimes the human me stays in it because it's a habitual behavior of you have to get it done, Donnie, you're getting it done. This is the moment. But then really like the spirit side comes to me and says, Donna, that's bullshit. It's freaking bullshit. Why do you need to do this? Why? What happens if you don't put this podcast out? What happens if you don't do it now? You get annoyed at your kids. You feel angry. You feel upset. You feel irritated. They feel angry, upset, and irritated. You all feel guilty. You all feel a mush of feelings that you don't want to feel. Nobody's enjoying it. And what happens? The energy translates into this audio, into the podcast, and you can feel it. And you're like, whoa. What is that girl? And oh my God, we can all relate to this. Like you, I am sure, can relate to this in your life. And especially, there's 2 key things that I want to talk to you about in this episode. One is, why the hell do we feel this guilt and suffer it? Why do we do this to ourselves and suffer it with this baggage of bullshit guilt in our back? Why do we do that? And the second question I want to ask or share with you, our answer is, what can you do about it? Because let's face it, I listen to other people's podcasts because I'm looking for solutions, or I'm looking to elevate my awareness, expand my container of my mind, of the think, of the capacity of my identity, of where I'm at, of the old behaviors, old pattern, old beliefs. That's where the personal growth is. That is where I believe the journey, the magic happens. So it's about who you're being today, the embodiment of that, and giving yourself bloody grace, giving yourself a high five. I'm in the second week of school holidays and we have a couple of days left. And I've had this conversation so many times. I had it yesterday at Incredible Lunch with Women. I've had it so many times with clients, especially last week with clients that have parents that work, have their own business and work from home. The frustrations, the irritations, the story loops that we feed ourselves and sit into, buy into. And then the shit fest that actually creates. And I am saying, I couldn't say this any straighter or clearer, because I want you to sit and actually take notice and pay attention to the words, to the language, to the feeling. Because it's like a wow. Because that's exactly what it is. It is bullshit that we've bought into. So let's start with the first question. Why do we feel so much guilt around the holidays? I recommend literally pen and paper and write down, or even think, if you're driving, pay attention to the road, but think about what story you bought into before the holidays even began. Did you automatically go into your memory bank of, oh, this is the way the last holidays was. We went on a holiday, it was great, or we didn't, or the kids were here. And this can go to not just self-employed people, whether you work for yourself. This goes for every working parent or caregiver, or you can apply it to anything in your life that you carry guilt around. Why do you carry it? It's the same thing, so apply it to your scenario. But I'm talking about this guilt in kids because it keeps coming up time and time again about what can we do. And these are things that I use that I find useful. So if I'm finding them useful, my clients find them useful, well, I'm thinking maybe you might find them useful. So wherever you are in your reality, wherever you are in your remit, ask yourself, write down, what is my story? What is my narrative around the school holidays? Whether it's term time, whether it's summer holidays, whatever it is, what story have you bought into? Do you automatically say, cheekers, these 2 weeks are going to be a nightmare? They're going to be hell if I don't get them booked onto school holidays or camps, or if somebody lets me down, or my parent can't watch whoever, or if one of them's sick, or it gets messy. It's always going to be a struggle. It's always going to be tough. It's going to be hard. It's going to be heavy. We're going to have fights. We're going to have arguments. Or have you decided, actually, do you know what? It is what it is. Nah, and that's absolutely fine. If you're a business owner like me, I preempt times, but in the times where I don't preempt things or pre-organize ahead or schedule ahead or plan ahead, when I get inspired moments to do things, it's like, oh, okay, so get inspired moments. It doesn't mean you have to lock it away. Go write it down somewhere, get up an hour earlier before the kids get up so that you have the time for you to be with you, to sit in your spiritual energy, the power that is within you for that connection to create what it is you need to create, because we're always manifesting everything in our world. But if you're sitting in an old narrative of, I feel guilty, I feel heavy, I feel shame, I feel horrible around the school holidays because I feel like I'm wearing 100 million different hats, I feel like I'm just keeping my head above water, I feel like I'm more angry and frustrated, I feel like I'm giving out more, then I feel bad, I feel like I'm not a great parent. These are just some of my thoughts. A lot of them are coming from old thoughts, or these are things that I used to feel. These are things that I hear clients feeling or friends having conversations. It's all around in that same circuit of bullshit, false stories that we've bought into from past experiences, and we keep emanating them, we keep manifesting them in our world unintentionally. That's the word, unintentionally, because often we are not aware that we are doing it. Because if we were aware, and now you're listening, if you knew that you were doing this and causing this to yourself, would you say, Donna, what's the solution? How do I stop? And stop like that? Absolutely. That's what I do. That's what I ask people. How can I stop this? That's why I learned through Bob Proctor. That is why I became a consultant that has work. That is why I do what I do with identity shifts and manifestation, because I realize that a lot of people do not understand this. There's still so much I don't understand, and I'm always curious. I'm always learning from people at a different level of awareness, because I want to expand the ideas that I hold, the identity about me. And this is what I'm really understanding. Like, if you understood that guilt, that feeling that we harbor and carry needlessly, is not a necessity. It's not a necessity to attach to the school holidays. If you realize that guilt is one of the lowest vibrations that you can be on, along with shame, creating dis-ease in your life, disharmony in your life, in your world, in your reality, in your relationships, in your creations, your manifestations, if you realize that this was unintentionally contributing to a lot of other factors in your world that you do not desire, would you choose a different way? Would you lift guilt up by the ears, drop kick it out of the way, and say, that's bullshit, I'm done, I wasn't aware, but now I am? Would you consciously make a choice to say, actually, do you know what? It's not benefiting me to feel guilty. It's not benefiting me to feel that sickness, the sadness in my heart, or that pull, or that stress or frustration, or that blah. It's not benefiting you. It's not benefiting the people you hold dear, the people you love, your kids, your partner, those people that are around you that you can maybe fall out with or get irritated with things. If the shit hits the fan or work, or it's not worth it. That is a core message. And we do not have to tolerate it. We do not have to suffer this guilt. So if you are somebody like I used to be that experiences guilt over the holiday season, ask yourself why. Look at the current story that you've bought, Andy, and ask yourself, is it true? Ask yourself, where did that idea come from? Was it a past experience? Because if it was a past experience, it is in the past. You have the power to choose not to bring it into your future. You are choosing now, every single moment of the day, what you are creating, what you're calling into your world through manifestation. We each have this power to do this. We are constantly doing it. So if you're feeding the story loop of this happens every time we have school holidays, this always happens on our holidays, we are always in this remit, this is always how we roll, then this will always be how you roll. Give yourself grace, remain neutral, give yourself a massive hug. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, you're doing the best you can right now with the information you have. In the past, you've done the best you could with the information that you had. Now you know something differently. So you have the power of choice. You can choose to sit here and spend a moment for you, value you, really sit with your ideas, your stories, and be honest, be raw, be open, be vulnerable. Have the courage. Have the courage to really listen and pay attention to your body, to your mind, to your soul, to the noise and the chatter that isn't so. Pay attention to the pain and the hurt that's sitting in your body and choose a different way. Choose to love the holidays. Choose to, when the holidays are here, that you prepare. If you're a preparation person and you logically think before time and you like to strategize, then prepare. In the moments, in the messy middle, and the times where things do happen and the kids are off or they are sick or you haven't got someone to mind them or you're really finding the juggle. I work in my bare feet because for me, when you take your shoes and socks off, you ground, you release the energy that's always flowing to and through the body. When you're holding in all that energy, the shoes and stuff on, tight clothes and everything, you're irritated, the energy is nowhere to go, but and even in that, you can release that energy. You feel like you're expressing it. When you're expressing it, allow it to come out of your body and allow your body to settle. Put your bare feet on the ground, plant them firm and strong, hold. Decide today who you are. Look at your identity. Choose who you decide to be. I am calm. I am love. I am enough. I am worthy. I am a great parent doing the best that I am able to do right now in this moment with the information that I have. Don't shame yourself, don't down yourself, and definitely don't do it to anybody else. Pay attention to you, your life, and the people that matter in your circle, and that wave effect that you are and always will be, that will start radiating out. But you have to focus on you. And you can only do that by allowing yourself to surrender and allow that guilt to go. That is when we talk about the tools, what can you actually do about it? One, write it down. What is my current story loop? What is my current narrative? What is the current bullshit that I've bought into that wrecks my head every time the holidays comes around? Write it out. And then from that, decide, what do I want to happen? What will I choose to intentionally design? What will I choose to intentionally manifest for the next school holidays? What do I choose? It's not always about having a 2-week holiday or going somewhere and removing yourself from the situation and we'll be happy, happy. Because anybody that goes camping or goes on holidays or goes anywhere term time, it's not always like that. But it's about choosing in every moment, regardless of what you're doing, that you're not going to feel guilty. You're not going to feel shamed. You're not going to put yourself down. Be straight. Talk to your children. Sit them down. Explain where you're at, what's happening, what you need, what will help, or what is happening, so that they have an idea. Give them some responsibility in terms of, this is the time for creative art. This is the time if you do gadgets. This is the time for maybe a movie time. But you have to choose what's right for you, not listening to other people, not what your neighbors do. What is right for you, for your family, for how they run their energy, because you know you best and you also know your people best. So it's not about judgment, it's not about shame, it's about releasing all of that guilt, being okay with that, having the discussion, get your kids involved. A lot of times it works, sometimes it doesn't. Yesterday I got my kids involved, and as soon as I said I'm going on to do the podcast for 10 minutes, I need you to go outside or dial it down, they ramped the noise up, especially my 6-year-old. For me, I kept trying and trying, and I was actually, Donna, remember, because you're aware now, you know. So change. Do not record anything in that energy because it'll fall flat. There's just stop, reset the energy. I'm about to apologize to my kids, because when we can stand there and apologize, when we can share and express from love that we are doing our best in any moment, that changes. Like, your kids have an understanding. This is what you're helping them see for the future. This is what I do with my kids. You decide for you what's best in your world, in your life. So that's it. Write it out. Write out then and choose what you want. Affirm that choice. Look at your identity. Who do you need to affirm that you are? If you're carrying guilt about school term, you're likely carrying guilt about a lot of other things. So again, just reflect from neutral. Don't judge yourself, and definitely don't judge anybody else. Just take a look and say, is there anything else that I may be harboring guilt about, that I may feel guilty about? Do I feel guilty leaving the kids? Do I feel guilty getting a childminder? Do I feel guilty going for friends or meeting somebody for dinner, or whatever it is? Guilt is an energy that you do not want to have within you. Love, joy, gratitude, happiness, abundance, prosperity. There are so many beautiful energies to live in, to be in while we are on this planet, that attract through natural law, through universal law, so many more abundant, prosperous, incredible opportunities. And each of us has that choice. We all get to decide. So my wish for you is send this with love and gratitude. Try the exercises. See what works for you. And if you know somebody else that goes through this thing, through this spiral, then please share the podcast so that they too can do the they too can do the results. They too can do the work for themselves. That's what it's all about. It's about the wave effect, elevating collective consciousness so that we all expand our containers for life. We all expand our view and lens. And as always, remember, your greatest asset is your ability to be yourself. And you have the power to choose who you are in any given moment. My name is Donna Martin. Thank you for listening, and I will catch you in the next episode. Thank you.